Hey guys, Dino here, and welcome back to Mass Effect 2 Part 2. So before I forget, I wanted to let you guys know I'm going to be starting some video blogging here soon. And just before I had left a few weeks ago to take a few week break, a few of you had started to ask some questions and had asked me if I could do some videos where I answer those questions. You know, people have talked about whatever my history of gaming or how I met XCal or whatever the hell you guys want to know. So in addition to leaving whatever normal comments you guys do, if you want to leave some suggestions or questions that you want me to answer, I will I'll address those when I make a video blog coming up here soon. So anyway, yeah, just let me know. Secondly, the first thing I want to talk about is a few of the comments that you guys left on my first video asking to do a different class other than XCal. So first off, I mean, XCal's videos definitely inspired me to want to go back and play Mass Effect 2 in the first place, right? It's a fun game. You really can't go wrong with it. You have fun, you know, no matter what, right? I definitely think Vanguard, I'll go into what I think about the classes later, but I think Vanguard is, you know, arguably the most fun class. I think it could be, well, I'll wait for that later. But anyway, Vanguard is a lot of fun. And the other reason why I wanted to play Vanguard, the main reason, is because XCal and I have some different play styles. Not taking away anything from XCal, because I think, like as I've said before, he's a phenomenal player. He is the, I left a comment the other day saying like he is the single best player I've ever run into, period, bar none. And for a variety of reasons, I mean, that's who he is. Extremely reliable, very, very dependable, especially in matches and things like that. It's very, very nice, and you get used to it, and it's actually kind of odd or difficult sometimes to play with somebody else there who's not so dependable, because it can be really frustrating. You know, I go left, someone else goes right. And, you know, if usually Bruce is on the right, you know, chances are he's going to take those guys out or do whatever needs to be done. And oftentimes when I find myself playing with other people, it doesn't really matter what the game is. They're just not nearly as dependable, and, you know, guys are coming by or they're running right past each other. And anyway, it can be frustrating because I'm used to playing with somebody who is so good. But that being said, our play styles are very, very different. Not all games necessarily reward the same play styles. If I had to classify myself, I'd say I play, I mean, it sounds almost silly, like tactically aggressive, I guess is the best way I would define my play style. You know, a straight run and gun Rambo, you know, is basically a great way to die consistently. You might run in and grab some kills, but you're going to die pretty often. But I'm more of the mindset that the best defense is a good offense, and not all games necessarily reward that. I think at the moment, you know, COD, I definitely have to adapt my style of that game, because playing with an aggressive style there is almost a guaranteed way to get yourself killed. But I see Bruce play this game as a Vanguard, a class that rewards aggressive play, and I look at it and I'm like, God, I would do that a lot differently. And that's why I wanted to play Vanguard. I wanted to contrast, you know, his videos with my videos and show you that there are two very different ways to play through the same game as the same class. And I think in this game you can be very heavily rewarded for being extremely aggressive as the Vanguard. I think it's a little too unfortunate that there are so many bugs and glitches with this class, because if there weren't, I think the Vanguard would just about be overpowered, especially when you start getting the power recharge timers on, and, you know, whatchamacallit charge is, you know, at somewhere around 4 seconds or something like that. I don't know if it can get any faster or not. But if that were the case and there weren't any bugs and glitches about targeting and all sorts of bullshit, I think Vanguard, like I said, would probably be overpowered. To go back and talk about Bruce real quick and his play style, I think the best way I would define XCal is, my phrase for it is essentially an offensive camper. When I see him play, Anyway, he's not typically the first guy to run in there and gray a flag or something like that if we're playing 42. He tends to hang back and take those kills, and when he's sure that no one's going to be in there, then he'll move in and start trying to gray it. Whereas I think much differently, and that's not the way I play. I like to run in there, and I don't really care if anybody's in there because I'm very, very confident in my skills, especially on only on the PC. And I don't care if anybody's in there because 99 times out of 100 I'll kill them. It doesn't matter who they are, and depending on the game, it doesn't matter how many there are. So to me, that's exciting. That's why I play the way I do. And in my history as 42, I was very, very, very heavily rewarded for doing such that. Not only did I have great KDs, but my scores were typically much, much, much larger than most other individuals as well. And that's a direct result of playing so aggressively. It actually always is kind of, it's been a little puzzling wondering why more people don't. I feel like people play games the way that they do shit in real life. Like they hide behind cover or something like that as if they're actually being shot at. It's a little bizarre. Like if you go out and play paintball or something like that, play paintball the same way that I play FPS games. And yeah, just always moving, always pushing forward. And I don't know, to me when I hang back, I always seem to die, and I just don't do that. I like knowing where everyone is at all times, and I think constantly being on the move helps out with that. Anyway, so that's that. Like I said, I just want to contrast the two videos. I almost wish we could do split screens. I think that would be a lot of fun. Ultimately, just too much work, unfortunately, to do something like that. Plus, he's halfway done with his as it is. But feel free to go back and look at his clips and look at my clips and see how much different they are. My goal is to essentially use as little cover as possible at all times. Sometimes you do have to for a different variety of reasons. You get targeting errors all over the place. Sometimes there's just way too many guys, and charging in the middle of 8 or 9 guys is suicide. Flamethrowers on this game are, I don't want to say they're a guaranteed way of dying, but flamethrowers juggle you, and I only get who decided to make that decision. I mean, it was a great one. I really enjoyed being juggled. Not killed so much as juggled, and then slowly picked off by, a couple guys long range. It's always a fun way to go. Yeah, anyway, so that's why I'm doing Vanguard. To talk for a few minutes about the different classes in this game, I think that, like I said, if there weren't any bugs, I would almost without question rate Vanguard as the most powerful class there is. But with the amount of bugs, I think that Vanguard is definitely not the strongest class out there, unfortunately. I think that almost without question goes to the, I guess it's the Infiltrator, whatever the class is, as the cloak and slow sniper. This game definitely makes great use of the cover system, and if you're a class that's taking cover, you're essentially immune to damage. And using a mouse and keyboard with the Infiltrator is just an absolute fucking joke. You could easily make it through the entire game and die, I don't know, never die. That wouldn't be impossible to do. It would be more than possible, especially if you want to take it slow. I actually have beaten the game as both Infiltrator, excuse me, and Vanguard before. I know my, kill to death ratio was fucking like, what, 300 to 1 or something like that as the Infiltrator. It's just stupid. You just don't die and you kill everything, once you pick up the, whatchamacallit, the new sniper rifle on whatever level that is. It's just game over once you pick that up. I do have the DLC weapons, and they're okay, but the one-shot massive damage is pretty sweet, and especially with the mouse and keyboard, the guys in this game just move way too slow for you not to rail them. The slowdown doesn't help them out either. So yeah, that's that. I dabbled with the other classes. I'm trying to think, get them all mixed up just because I don't have a lot of experience with them. Engineer is all right. The whatchamacallit, the sentry orb, whatever the fuck it is. You know, it is a great decoy and it can pull guys out. You know, it's kind of nice. The only other class that I would even think about possibly playing is whatever class it is. You get to throw up a shield on you. I think it's a mix. The whatever the fuck it is, Sentinel maybe. You know, that's not bad. I'm sure once you get a few ranks into that with some decent armor, some shield stuff, I'm sure you turn into a bit of a tank, and that sounds kind of fun. But at the same time, you're limited heavily by your storm speed, aka sprint speed, and it's just not fun. It's such a huge advantage to be able to instantly cross the battlefield at all times, and you know, regen your shields. On that note, I want to say I think, you know, in my opinion, as far as the Vanguard goes, what makes an amazing ball-banging Vanguard from average Vanguard is going heavy charge. I was almost tempted to go area charge just because I feel like heavy charge is so strong, especially against single opponents. It's just ridiculous. It's, like I said, if there were not those bugs, it wouldn't be borderline overpowered, it would be clearly overpowered. Especially as somebody who plays aggressively, there would be little to nothing they could do to you at any given time. I would say the majority of times I die in this game, I don't know, 9 out of 10 times, it's always going to be a result of having targeting errors. It's infuriating, and there's nothing you can do to get around it. It can happen at any time. So yeah. So right now you can see positioning guys, running, shooting guys. Oh, there's some wonderful targeting errors. You can see me spamming charge. Can't do it. Love it. Died. So this is one of the advantages of playing on the PC. You're running, you're shooting, you're using your abilities, and then I'm ordering my teammates around at the exact same time. There's no way you can come anywhere close to doing that on a console with a controller. No, like I've said in other videos, I love consoles. They are so much easier to use for just about everything. Picking up matches, recording footage, installing games, anything and everything. They're easier and more efficient. The one thing that, you know, eats balls about them is the fact that they are, you know, they use a controller, they don't use mouse and keyboard, so mouse and keyboard is just fucking huge. So unfortunately I have to play like a big vagina and sit around here behind cover because I literally cannot charge this guy. Pretty annoying. Like I said, sometimes there's just not much you can do. But I think the majority of situations in this game, what I'm really excited to show you guys, and I'm getting much better at it as time goes on, is you know, situations where you look at that and you're just thinking like there's no fucking way that anybody could charge in there and take all these guys out. Well, I think the majority of those situations there is a way, and it is possible, and I want to show you guys, you know, what's up and how to do it. I'm hoping, you know, it's not going to be like a life-changing experience or anything, but I think you'll be surprised when you see some of the situations that you can repeatedly charge into and charge out of and come away just fine. Like I said, I've watched Bruce's videos, and I know he doesn't necessarily play that way, and I'm not slamming him for doing that, but I think that this is a game that can reward you. You get a lot of benefits for a high-risk, high-gain play style. And as long as you're smart about doing it, and you know what, you know, you're just thinking on your feet, there's, you know, you're not going to fuck it up. So, win-win situation as far as I see it. Too bad it doesn't work flawlessly, because that would be pretty awesome. Unfortunately, that's about all the combat I think, you know, that we've seen so far. Got some pretty good stuff coming up here in the next little scene, Freedom's Progress. Unfortunately, it's going to take a bit. We got a little bit of a dialogue. I'm not going to do a speed run per se, but I'm also not going to be exploring every possible dialogue choice with any given character or whatever. You know, my goal is to get to the action and, you know, let you guys see as much of that as possible, because that's my main reason for wanting to do this again. Plus, I don't think I have the save file for my original playthrough. I don't know what happened to it. Uninstalled the game or whatever, so I want to play through and grab another one before Mass Effect 3 hits, but unfortunately, as we all know, Mass Effect 3 was pushed back to a later date. Sometime early next year, which is actually quite a ways away. I have a suspicion that it most likely had to do with Dragon Age 2 just fucking bombing and getting horrendous reviews from all over the place, and overall being a completely shithouse game. Especially when you look at the company that did it, you would just expect this amazing game. You know, the first Dragon Age was a lot of fun. Mass Effect, Mass Effect 2 are absolutely brilliant. They're arguably genre-defining titles. Like, they are the gold standard, and you put out a game like Dragon Age 2 and it's just a sloppy piece of shit. There's no excuse for it. It's embarrassing, and I'd imagine they wanted to stave off Mass Effect 3 because they definitely don't want to repeat, let alone the series finale. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a letdown that would be. So, anyway, I think that about wraps it up. Don't forget to leave those comments or questions, you know, what things you want me to answer in the video blog, and I'd be more than happy to do so. So stay tuned for more.
Done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you grew up on Earth. Tough environment, no parents. You enlisted, and you survived a Thresher Maw attack that wiped out the rest of your team. Do you remember that?
I lost a lot of friends that day. Going through something like that changes you. It can break you, if you let it.
I read the report. 50 Marines died on a cruise. You were the only one who lived. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave her behind?
I left a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could. Ash gave her life for the rest of the team. Without her, I couldn't have stopped Saren. She died a hero.
I understand, Commander, and I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the Illusive Man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
I wouldn't keep the Illusive Man waiting.
Commander Shepard.
Illusive Man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
A necessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
And what exactly is it that you and I know?
That our place in the universe is more fragile than we'd like to think. That one man, one very specific man, might be all that stands between humanity and the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and the Geth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
Nothing you say is going to convince me to trust you. I need more than words.
I'd be disappointed if I could persuade you that easily. Go and see for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress. the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
What do you think I'll find there?
If I knew that, I wouldn't need to send you. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
I'm glad the Illusive Man convinced you to join us, Commander.
I just agreed to work with him. I still don't trust him.
Do you trust me, Commander?
I haven't made up my mind about you yet.
At least you're giving me a chance. Most Alliance soldiers hate Cerberus on principle.
Do you know anything about this colony we're going to?
It's called Freedom's Progress. Don't know much else. I guess we'll find out when we get there.
That's all for now.
Yes, sir.
We should be there shortly, Shepard. The Illusive Man put us under your command. Do you have any orders?
Our first priority is to look for survivors.
That's unlikely, Commander. No one was left at the other colonies. They were completely deserted.
Be nice to find somebody. Anything's better than another ghost town.
Understood.
Sure thing.
Here we go!
Looks like everyone just got up and left right in the middle of dinner.
Strange. No bodies, no structural damage, and no signs of battle. Security systems were disabled at the other colony.
forces have engaged.
Gotta hurt!
On our right!
Authorized for lethal force.
Shoot them before they take out the shields.
Oh my...
Can't reach the target.
Power.
One left!
Can't get a lock.
Those specs shouldn't have been hostile. They should have recognized us as human.
Someone reprogrammed them to attack on sight. We're not alone here. They've seen us.
Hostile forces have engaged.
Stop right there!
Praza, you said you'd let me handle this. Wait, Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Put those weapons down! Shepard? Is that... you're alive?
Remember when I gave you that Geth data tally? Did it help you complete your pilgrimage?
Yes, it did. Praza, weapons down. This is definitely Commander Shepard.
Why is your old commander working for Cerberus?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask.
I nearly died, Tali. Cerberus spent 2 years rebuilding me. They want me to investigate attacks on human colonies. Likely story. No organization would commit so many resources to bring back one soldier.
You haven't seen Shepard in action, Praza. Trust me, it was money well spent. Perhaps we can work together. We're here looking for a young Quarian named Vitor. He was here on pilgrimage.
Isn't that a little strange? A Quarian visiting a remote human colony?
Quarians can choose where they go on pilgrimage. Vitor liked the idea of helping a small settlement. He was always nervous in crowds.
She means that he was unstable. Combine that with damage to his CO2 scrubbers and an infection from an open-air exposure, and he's likely delirious.
When he saw us landing, he hid in a warehouse on the far side of town. We suspect he also programmed the mechs to attack anything that moved.
Vitor's the only one who can tell us what happened here. We should work together to find him.
Good idea. You'll need 2 teams to get past the drones anyway.
Now we're working with Cerberus?
No, Praza, you're working for me. If you can't follow orders, go wait on the ship. Head for the warehouse through the center of the colony. We'll circle around the far side and draw off some of the drones to clear you a path.
Your people really don't like Cerberus. What did I miss?
They killed our people, infiltrated our flotilla, and tried to blow up one of our ships.
That's not how I'd have explained it exactly. It was nothing personal.
We can argue over who killed who later. Right now, we've got a job to do.
Agreed. We work together to get to Vitor.
Make sure to keep in radio contact.
Will do. Good luck, Shepard. Whatever happens, it's good to have you back. Be careful, Shepard. There's a squad of security drones up ahead.
Thanks for the warning. We'll take care of them.
Change weapon!
Rearming.
Excuse me.
Use overload on them.
Enemy down!
I'll put him down! Target down!